She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show. Today on the Dani Johnson Show, we present a Money Monday teaching taken from our live First Steps to Success event in San Diego, California.
We're going to do a quick financial test in the small things, okay? We're going to look in the small things and see how we're doing and see maybe where some of these dollars actually went, okay? All right, so what do I have? I have my cutting board from upstairs. I have my knife from upstairs. I have 14 ounces of broccoli. I have 2 different kinds of salt because I'm going to show you, and I have a bag that costs 10 cents. Because this is California, and they rip you off at every opportunity that they can get. They charge you crazy amount of taxes, and they don't know what to do with the money once they've collected it. Yes, sirree. Thus, we have a gigantic homeless problem, which actually the homelessness is what caused the fires this past winter. Yeah. Billions of dollars in damage because they haven't figured out how to put people to work. I have the rest of my spinach that will be gone tomorrow. I have some of this, and I got some of this. Whoops. So, this 10-cent bag is going to be reused again and again and again. Why? Because that's how 2% of the population does it. But that's not how the 98%ers do it. 98%ers throw this thing away. It was only 10 cents. And the California ones actually forget to bring them to the grocery store the next time they go. So they end up having to buy more 10 cents. But it's only faithful with the little, ruler over much, much more. So I'm going to show you the difference between the millionaire, the financial independent. Forget the millionaire because there's lots of millionaires here in the room that are flat broke. I used to be one of the broke millionaires. What does that mean? Nice fancy name, get to say I did it, still flat broke like everybody else. In fact, there's more kids that had more money than we did. Sad truth. There's kids in this room that have more money than you do. Why? They haven't had a chance to spend it yet. That's why. They haven't had a chance to spend it yet. So, I'm going to show you the difference between 98 and 2% when it comes to spending money. I'm going to show you how to become faithful with the little. And I'm going to show you how to get yourself set up for the next financial promotion, for your next work promotion, for your next marriage promotion. Because how you spend really shows a lot about how you value your family. How you spend as a team player shows how much you value or devalue your family. Where your money goes shows, it's a glaring sign about how much you value or devalue your family. Do you value conveniences more than you value the legacy that you want to pass down to your kids? Do you value your comfort foods more than you value being able to stop the hemorrhaging of poverty from one generation to the next? And when I say poverty, like, but Dani, I'm not in poverty. You are baroque, you are in poverty. If you're eating all your seed, you have nothing to plant next year. Do you hear me? If you eat all your seed, you have nothing to plant next year. So this is why, now go back to that first line of what did you make last year, right? Write it down. You wrote it down, how much you made last year, or how much you make monthly, right? What if, my friend, you do what my husband did with us many years ago? And this is back, thank God, when we came out of 10 years of making millions and spending it all. And here we are in this big, huge house. We have this house that's 5,600 square feet. We have nothing but little kids, even a 7-month-old baby, okay? We can sleep 30 people in this 5,600 square foot house. This house has a 1,400 square foot guest house. It has a pool. It has a tennis court. It has a slide that goes to the pool because the, diving board wasn't enough, okay? Basketball court, tennis court, 10 acres looking at the backside of Yosemite National Park, living in the Sierra Nevada mountains. And why did we have this $700,000 house? Because we saved $300,000, because the house we had before was $1 million home, but it was only 4,000 square feet. So we got to buy 1,600 more square feet for $300,000 less. And that other house only had 4 bathrooms, but this one has 6. So we get 6 bathrooms and 1,600 square feet more for only $700,000. $300,000 less. We're saving money. Yes. And the 4,000 square foot house was on a half an acre. But this 5,600 square foot house, it's on 10 acres. Whew. Yes. Give me more. Now, the 2 kids who are, I think I had just turned 30. Yep. And Hans is 26. Yes, I robbed the cradle. And yes, he robbed the grave. So he's 26. We just had our 5th child. I'm 30. And wow, we are living on top of a hill in this glorious house that was shot for Better Homes and Garden magazine. So beautifully put together. Because we saved $300,000 by selling the $1 million house and buying a $700,000 house that had so much more. What a deal. This is the thinking of 98% of the population. It's all about spending. It's not about multiplying. So we had this huge house, and there I am. And I'm sitting in our bedroom suite, which is 1,500 square feet. The master bedroom was 1,500 square feet. Did you hear what I said? The master bedroom was 1,500 square feet. Okay? It was comprised of 4 rooms. Number 1, the room where the bed was. Number 2, the bathroom, which was an enormous room. Number 3, a retreat inside of, right next to where the bed was. There's this room called a retreat. Had a full-size couch and a big old fluffy chair and a television and a coffee table. All in this retreat, which is the size of most people's living rooms. So then there's the bathroom that, here's my sink. This probably from here to here is just my sink. And then way over here is Hans's. But it's all one continuous countertop leading to these 2 sinks, right? Yeah. And then you go into this other room, which is called the closet. And this closet was 300 square feet. The closet itself was 300 square feet. And guess what? It was filled, floor to ceiling, wall to wall, and the middle. Filled with my stuff. Hans had a section about this big. Everything else was mine. Hats, bags, 150 pairs of shoes, $250,000 wardrobe, $250,000 worth of jewelry. We were millionaires. We're living the life. Yeah. And then I'm sitting in the retreat. We had just finished taking off the last piece of pink flowered wallpaper with teal leaves. Do you remember that from the 80s? We just finished tearing the walls, and the idiot put the wallpaper directly on the sheetrock. So it meant as we were tearing off the wallpaper, we were tearing off the sheetrock. So it took us 3 months to remodel this house. Got such a deal. Our friends helped us. Jen helped. A bunch of our friends, JP helped. A bunch of our friends would come over. I would cook for everybody. We'd have weekend parties, and we're just clawing the walls, getting the wallpaper done. So, long and the short of it is, I'm sitting in the retreat, I'm preparing a message, and I'm sitting there and I hear this voice to say, who is this all for? It's not for Hans. He could live in a coffee shack barefoot and be totally happy. Then who's this all for? It's not for the kids. I mean, they were happy with a smaller house and a Walmart swing set in the backyard and a Walmart blow-up pool. Then who is this all for? I'm out of people. I'm totally out of people. Who is this all for? Well, I kind of think that it was God asking me the question, so I said, I don't think it's for you because you don't need this to look good. Then who is this all for? I fell off that chair on the floor and started bawling my eyes out. Forgive me. This is all about my ego trip. All 5,600 square feet, 10 acres, pool, tennis court, guest house, 7 couches, 6 bathrooms, was all for my ego. To try to prove to everybody else that Dani Johnson made it. To make me feel better about myself. And there we had almost $1 million worth of debt. $100,000 in credit card and car debt. Sell your things and follow me. You know, that's that part in what I call the best success book ever written that everyone just skips over and goes, "That sorry sucker." Poor guy. And I used to say to my clients that I could walk away from this lifestyle tomorrow and it would mean nothing to me. Until I was asked to walk away. Sell your things and follow me. I go downstairs to talk to my husband, and I'm weeping. I feel like I'm going to throw up. It seemed like a half a mile to get to the office that was in the same roof, in the same house. And he's sitting there working. So he has this built-in visor, and no one ever knows what color his eyes are because you can't see his eyes. So anyway, so he's typing, and he's working. And I say, I need to talk to you. And he could see drama all over his wife's face, and he's like, go ahead. Which, I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but 93% of all communication is nonverbal. 93% of all, so that means 7% of your words is what you're communicating, but 93% is nonverbal. So what was he really saying? Go away, come back later, I don't have time for this right now. I said, no, I really need to talk to you. I really, really need to talk to you. He said, go for it. I said, no. And I sat my butt right in front of him next to a computer. I said, I really need to talk to you. He's like, what's up? I said, I think God just told me we need to sell our house. And he sat back and he looks at me. He goes, his eyes got big, his jaw dropped. And he said, he told me the same thing 2 weeks ago, but I told him, you better tell her because I ain't going to fight that fight. Such a wise man, all at 26 years old.
Don't go away. The next segment might just change your life. This is the Dani Johnson Show. More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider Membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what poverty-stricken families are dealing with in Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic needs of food, clean water, and safe housing. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming Nicaragua. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Nicaragua. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities. And they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
Faith, hope, love, and sometimes a good swift kick. You'll find them all here. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
I was the one that put my husband under all that pressure and put myself under all that pressure. It was me trying to fill this thing, this need of feeling successful. This bar of a house means success, so I need the house. And it needs to be a bigger house and a better house than everybody else. Otherwise, I'm not successful. I'm a 98%er if I don't have that. So I pressed him and I pressed me for that thing. So we did. We sold it. Took us 6 months to sell it. We made $100,000 on it in a down market because we obeyed the messenger. We got serious. We paid off all of the credit card and car debt immediately just from the sale of the profit that we made from the house. We canceled all that out. We downsized into a 2,400 square foot house with 2 apartment-sized bathrooms, 2 apartment-sized, with toilets that were almost on the floor because they were from the 70s. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, the chair you're sitting on is like a high rise compared to the toilet. And the toilet was like caramel color and the sink was chocolate brown. And we had chocolate brown tile that had white water stain, you know what I mean? Like hard water stain on it. And a caramel colored tub that had a big white line about 6 inches thick all the way down from the front to the back of it. This was our house that we were moving into from this luxurious place to this other place. And why? Because we had realized that the home owned us. We didn't own it. We had realized that the home actually was a prison for our kids instead of a place to grow up. We had realized that the stress from that place was causing us to fight, and it also caused me to have a major heart condition that the doctors had said that I had to move in lower elevation and that I had to reduce my stress and I had to quit working. That I had to lay low, otherwise my heart was going to kill me. Supraventricular reentrance tachycardia was the name of the condition that I have. I was born with 2 electrical passageways. For some reason, when we moved up and lived in 4,000 elevation, that's when it started to race. It would go from go from a resting heart rate, 60, 70 to 300 beats per minute inside of 60 seconds. And I'd just pass out. And I lived that way for years. It was a terrible thing. What I can tell you is that stress will kill you. And what's causing your stress? And what was causing ours is that we were living our life not by our design, but by the design of somebody else. And when we decided to change that, we started to really look at the finances. And when my income went away, which was close to $1 million a year, when my income went away, we were left with this other income, about $60,000 a year. And now it was like, we were used to this crazy, huge lifestyle that now all of a sudden had to fit into this. And that laugh, that woman right there, she was there when it all happened. She was there helping me pack the whole thing up. She was there when we sold the house. I was just a mom volunteering at the school. So she watched the entire thing happen. So, faithful with the little. We weren't faithful with the little. We weren't at all. We spent all we made. We spent all we made when we made 10 grand a month. We spent all we made when we made 100 grand a month. We spent all we made. No matter how much we made, we spent it all. Now, when you look at your piece of paper there, did you do the same thing? How many of you have done the same thing? You spend it. You have it, you spend it. Why? Because that's what 98% of the population does, is they spend the money. They don't understand how to invest the money. But Dani, you bought a house. That was a house we were living in. This was a liability. That was not an asset. That was not producing income for us. It was something that we were eating our seed of. Do you understand? We were eating that seed. We weren't multiplying that seed. Do you know how many houses that we could have bought with the money that we bought that house with? 5 or 6. In that area, we could have bought 5 or 6 rentals easily. But we didn't. Instead, we ate it and we enjoyed all of it. No, we weren't enjoying squat. It looked like to our friends we were putting on these huge parties. In reality, we were fighting like cats and dogs because both of us were under the pressure of the finances of a $7,000 mortgage monthly. $7,000 mortgage. Now you're like, that's just nuts and stupid. Guess what? You would do the same thing if all of a sudden you had 100 grand a month or 20 grand a month or 30 grand a month. If all of a sudden you had that money, your habit is proof. Let's watch it. How many of you are making more money today than you did when you first entered the workplace? But how many of you are further in debt today than you were when you entered the workplace? So that means you became more financially strapped the more money you make. Does that make any sense at all? How many of you would think it should be the opposite? It seems that the more money you make, the more financially independent you should be, right? Well, guess what? That's 2% of the population. The more they make, the more financially independent they get. But 98% of the population, the more they make, the further in debt they go. So number 1, for making yourself ready for a financial promotion, to be faithful with the little, what's the first thing you should do? Pay off your debt. Stop using credit.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need. Stay right here for more of the Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was working 60 to 75 hours a week. I was completely stressed out. I was incredibly angry with my husband. We were in over $350,000 worth of debt. By applying the strategies that Dani teaches, in the last 3.5 years, we have paid off $170,000 in debt. We are no longer roommates, and we no longer spend every single cent that we make. We now have made tens of thousands of dollars in passive income in investments. We are on the right track. We're traveling around the world together, and we are building homes for those who really need it. So I don't know about you, but if you want to cut back from 60 to 20 and 30 hours a week, if you want to mend some relationships, if you want to make your life more efficient and a lot more fun, and you want to be the best version of you, I highly recommend that you get registered because your life is about to change.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, First Steps to Success in Creating Dynasty, my wife and I were really lost. We were struggling in a relationship. We were struggling financially, drowning in debt. Our relationship was really broken. We were in a bad place. We were living in 2 completely different states and not really honoring each other. Once we got plugged into the community, we noticed a shift in our lives. Most importantly, we came together as a husband and wife. That was the first thing we did. And when we finally came together under the same roof, things started to change. Over the past 3 years, we've been able to pay off over $495,000 in debt. I know in my business, I've had a job created for me that increased my income by 50%. That has actually opened up the door to allow my wife and I to spend more time with each other. So I don't know where you are. I don't know if your relationship is super awesome. I don't know if your job is immaculate. I don't know if you're debt-free. But what I do know is if you're not any one of those things, your next step is to get plugged into DaniJohnson.com, go on the website, get plugged into the community. I promise you, your life will never be the same.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was a broke college student, drowning in debt, and I felt like the world was crashing all around me, and I had bad relationships. Since plugging into DaniJohnson.com and First Steps to Success, I was able to pay off $6,600 in 4 months. Now I'm able to give 10% of my income to wherever my heart desires. I actually, using the skills that I learned from Dani, I actually landed a job before I graduated college, and I'm able to travel the world. All I know is if you're serious about annihilating your debt, traveling in the world, helping people, and having fun doing so, I highly recommend you get registered for the next First Steps to Success. Do it now, don't wait, don't even thinking about it. If you're ready to change your life, just do it.
We went to our first ever First Steps to Success just 10 weeks ago, and it has definitely been life-changing ever since.
We felt like we got hit by a 2x4, but it was the best 2x4 because what we realized is that our priorities were clearly out of line. I had been building a home-based business and had been working 80 to 100 hours, and I realized that that is not my role and that I had actually taken my husband's, and it was that realization that something had to change, and we immediately went home and changed everything. There was no hesitation. We said, you know what, we need to be obedient to God.
And we've implemented the tools day one. We started implementing what Dani taught us, invested in ourselves, invested in our kids, got our priorities in line. We've now actually paid off just not quite $60,000 in debt and looking at a couple more investments here as head of the household.
It's been absolutely incredible. So I just encourage you, if any of this speaks to you, if you're wanting to get out of debt, if you're wanting better communication, if you're wanting to elevate to the higher level of life, get to First Steps to Success and plug into DaniJohnson.com.
The way you look at things is about to change. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Start using cash. Because that dollar, you saw it in your own eyes. You're like, yeah, where did all those go? I need to find them. I lost my marbles. I lost my marbles. Where did the dollars go? Where did the dollars go? Right? But because it's on a plastic, you don't even know what you're spending. And when you get that bill, you don't even know what the bill was for or how many items. Do you understand? You see the bill, all they do is give you a balance. That $5,000 balance, you have no idea what's on there. And you don't have no idea how long it's been on there either. How many of you have been carrying a credit card debt for a long time? You realize that you are paying on a blouse you bought 10 years ago. Paying on a dinner that you ate 8 years ago. You're still paying for that dinner. That poop is long gone, baby, but you're still paying for it. Does that make sense? Okay, so faithful with the little, ruler over much, much more. Stop with your credit card. Start paying cash. So many of the people who are here that have graduated through, they started living on cash. They started using cash. Now you can value that dollar. Now, why do I have all this food up here? Because I'm going to tell you there are some places of waste that are happening, which here we go, number 2. Second way to fail for a promotion is waste. Waste. Wasting time, wasting money. Wasting time, wasting money. This is how people stay stuck. So how do we waste money? It's really, really simple. I'm going to tell on myself right now, okay? I'm financially independent, which means I can spend as much as I want to on groceries if I want to, right? I can spend money anywhere I want to. It's not going to make a dent in my overall net worth. If I spend $200 on groceries for myself for a week, doesn't hurt my net worth. But if I'm living paycheck to paycheck, it's keeping me stuck. It's keeping me broke, okay? So this is my spinach. I'm going to eat the rest of this tomorrow. This is 4 ounces of spinach. But I got to tell you something. When we first started paying off debt, I started looking at every single penny and where it was going. Why? Because I had heard that the wealthy knows where every penny goes. But The impoverished have no idea where it goes. So the wealthy, 2% of the population, they follow their money. They know where they're putting it, and it goes with the purpose. Money has a place to go. You have to tell it where to go. It's always looking for a place to go. And trust me, there's always somebody else trying to get your cash, all right? So in the very beginning, I paid attention to every single penny that was leaving our account. So what I did is I made a budget for our food, right? Prior to this, we were spending $1,200 a month on food alone. $1,200 a month on food. I have a question for you. How many of you have no idea how much money you're spending on food? How many of you don't know? You have no idea, okay? This is what I will tell you. Out of all the thousands of people that I've helped become debt-free, those people also didn't know where they were spending money. They had no idea how much money they were spending on food, not a clue. Until they went through and trained with war on debt. Write that down. War on debt. You have to declare war on debt. You have to win against your debt. If you're going to be financially independent, you cannot lose with debt any longer. So it's time to get in the game and start winning against debt. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Why? Because money is the foundation for your life. I'm not saying it's everything, but I'm saying that it controls your stress. It controls where you live. It controls what you eat. It controls where you go on vacation or if you don't go on vacation. It also has something to do with the fighting that happens between you and your loved ones. It has to do with your brain going nonstop, sitting at the dinner table, crunching numbers in your head, trying to figure things out, and your kids talking, you're like, You don't have any idea what they just finished telling you. I drowned my little brother in the toilet. Oh, really? Oh, that's great. Because you're not listening. You're crunching numbers, or you're thinking about work, or you're stewing about a fight that you had at work. Do you understand how many of you have done this? You're not present. Do you hear me? You're not present at the dinner table. Why? Because you're wasting time thinking about money. You're wasting time thinking about tasks that you got to get done instead of being present. Hello, faithful with the little. So part of being faithful with the little is be present with who you're talking to. Actually listen, actually engage, actually hear. Cut off your mind from those other things and start hearing what's happening right there in front of you. That's being faithful with the little. It's also focus, and focus produces a great result. Focus is a very rare commodity in today's world. Very rare commodity. I'm looking for people that can focus that I want to hire. Okay, so listen up. So check it out. Let me show you how this happens. What's the difference in price of these two things? Who's ever bought pink Himalayan salt? Oh my gosh! Wow! I want to see it again. Who has bought pink Himalayan salt? Look around. Holy, whoa! Wait, keep your freaking hands up. Wow! Look around the freaking room. Look at this! I knew you did. I knew it. Wow! Look, I want your eyes to look around the room and see, come on. Look at all these people who have bought pink Himalayan salt. Let me teach you something about marketing right now. How much is this? You have this in your pantry at home. $4. This is $4. Does anyone here know how much this is? 50 cents. This is 50 cents. This is $4. Do you want to know how this was ever birthed? Let me give you a marketing class 101. You ready? Yeah. Here's how it is. We got salt. How do we reinvent salt and multiply the price by how much?
8 times.
How? Is it 800%? 50 cents to $4? How in the world do we, marketing, you said it. Everything boils down to marketing because price doesn't freaking matter. Some yahoo is willing to spend 800% more on salt that is pink. That costs $4 instead of salt that costs 50 cents. 50 cents. 50 freaking cents. Guess what's in my pantry? Pink Himalayan or this? This is what's in my house. However, we shop for the groceries when we come to these events. We do. I made my own sandwich. I had a sandwich for lunch. I had a turkey sandwich for lunch with jalapenos on it and some lettuce and mustard. I made my own sandwich. The millionaire made her own sandwich for lunch. What did the 98%ers do? Don't answer the question. Listen, this is not to put anyone down. I used to be in that boat. I'm trying to build a bridge for you. I'm trying to build a bridge. I'm trying to show you what it is, the faithful with the little, ruler over much, okay? So we come to the event, we decide we're gonna start grocery shopping, we're gonna start making our own sandwiches, all this stuff. Why? To save money on expenses so more money can go to feeding the orphan. That's why, right? So the person that goes shopping comes back with salt! The person who went shopping came back with salt. Why? Because we can't get it for free in a hotel? So we gotta buy salt. And pepper. And wait, why? Because it assumed that the millionaire needs to have hell no, I don't need cracked pepper. I don't even use pepper. Free. 50 cents. 800% more, $4. Why? Because we get suckered in that more expensive is better for me. BS. Since you've been using this pink crap, have you noticed a difference in your health? That's how they sold it to you. They sold it to you, telling you that it was better for your health. And you freaking bought it, pink. I don't even like pink. This is where it's at. It's right freaking here. It's freaking right the frick here. Do you freaking hear me right now? It's right here is how we are broke. This right here is how we're in debt. This is how we stay in debt. This is how we live the life that we don't want to live. Because why? We have too big of an ego to ask for salt and pepper. We've got egos so freaking big that we got to have the expensive stuff. We wouldn't be caught dead buying the great value Walmart brand iodized salt, which your body actually has to have. What's in this isn't even in this. That's how it happens. That's how you end up broke. That's how 98% spends.
Stay right here for more of the Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your freedom, your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
My name's Derek, and this is my wife, Michelle, and we're the Holland Sheds. We live in Covina, California, about 45 minutes from here, and we're extremely honored to be able to share our story. And when we were approached about it, I was kind of thinking, well, where do I start? Where do we start? But I'm going to start a few years back, before there was a Michelle and Derek, actually, I was actually debt-free, and kind of going along pretty good. And then a funny thing happened. I got married, and I married into debt. And okay, we're going to do fine. We'll pay it off, and life will be good. But a funny thing happened was that didn't seem to happen. Yeah, and what, as a result, it, just kind of thinking it's going to happen, or we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and something always happens, and and the result is that debt doesn't get paid. So it starts becoming like an old friend, and then unfortunately the marriage failed, but I was able to meet Michelle, and we got married, and married into debt again. only now it's a little bit bigger, but at least the house that I had, this was during the housing boom, so used some of the equity in the house to pay that debt off, and okay, we got a clean state, let's go forward. And but in our early days in our marriage, we had some difficulty as far as being on the same page financially, and Michelle will share a little bit more about that. And I guess it's a good point for me to hand it over to her.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Like Derek said, honestly, you guys, the first 7 years of our marriage, when I came into our marriage, he paid up my debt all. And I ran our debt up 3 different times in the first 7 years of our marriage, you guys. I would have never imagined being in that spot. Derek didn't trust me. And it finally got to a place where, my gosh, I can't keep doing this. I was pretty much told to come to this event by a good friend of mine, and it was the best thing she could have said to me because it's what I needed. I would have not have come had I not have had that charge and challenge that way. The moment I got here and we saw the war, I saw the war on debt, I said, this is it. This is our ticket. This is what's going to help us go to the next level. This is what's going to help us. You guys, we've since in 33 months, we have paid off over $159,000 worth of debt. We have money in savings. We have $300,000 in assets, income-producing assets. We continue to plug in. I was the first one to come, but immediately afterwards, I told my husband I couldn't wait. I called him. I told him about War on Debt. He immediately said, let's do it. We had some friends that hosted a War on Debt class there right after, and we went to it, and we found $502 worth of excess spending our first month, and we revisited our budget after that, and then we thought we were just broke, living paycheck to paycheck. We were overwhelmed. We felt hopeless. I never would have thought I would lose my husband's trust, and the techniques, the strategies that Dani Johnson teaches you guys helped us save our marriage, our finances, our communication. You guys, we started out with, my favorite product is spiritual equipping, and I know Darren has a favorite product.
We're on debt, and you think?
You guys, we kind of bought things one by one. However, you guys have a great opportunity outside that door, that table out there, where you can buy the whole DJ University curriculum, and you get almost $1,000, over $1,000 off. So you have either option, but that's a great opportunity for you. Don't let anything stop you guys. There is hope, there is life, and I'm very grateful and honored to be here. So without further delay, you guys help us welcome back America's favorite millionaire and our mentor and coach, Dani Johnson.
The way you look at things is about to change. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Faithful with the little. So it's in these things where this flies away. Why? Because it's the habit. It's the habit of thinking this is more important than your children's college tuition. This is more important than your retirement. This is more important than the dream vacation that you've been long waiting for. This is more important than being debt-free. This is more important than helping your elderly parents. This is more important than helping the poor. This. Pink frickin' salt. Then you whine that you don't have the money when it's time to go to First Steps to Success 8 or 9 times in a year. You whine that you don't have the money. You whine that you don't have the time. You got the money and you got the time. It's about where the heck is it going? Are you going to make this grow into skill sets that you have to make millions of dollars? So whether you're like me and you just want to give it all away, or you're like somebody else that wants to build a big house and have that boat and have those 17 cars or whatever, wants to travel around the world, whatever they want to do. Again, whatever they want to do on the return of the investments, not their cash flow. That's how the wealthy live. It's the return on the investments. It's all the extra cash that's being generated that's not taking their time. They're able to take some of that money, not this cash flow. The cash flow is for your basic essential needs, and the rest is to invest. And if you have a debt, invest in your debt. How many of you want an 18.9% return on every dollar? Pay off your debt. Pay off your credit cards, because you're going to give them the 18.9%. If you want to keep the 18.9%, pay those beasts off. But Dani, should I cash in my 401k to be able to do it? I mean, I have $30,000 in savings. I have $30,000 in credit card debt. What do you think I should do? How much are you earning on that $30,000 in your savings account? $4 a year. And how much are you paying in interest on that $30,000 in debt? How much? It can be up to 29%. So how much of that is for $30,000? How much? $6,000. So you can keep the money in your savings account and make $4 a year, or you can now pay $36,000 in debt. And the year after, you're going to pay how much? $42,000. And the year after? $48,000. Do you hear me? Simple equation. It's just numbers. Do you understand? Because of this. Pink salt. Just salt. Okay, so here I caught myself. I kind of got a little loose on my budget. And why? I'm financially independent. I don't need to watch the pennies and nickels as much as I needed to. I mean, how much could I possibly spend in a week on groceries for myself, right? So I'm at the grocery store, and I thought for a long time that this $5 bucket of spinach was a really good deal. I'm like, dang, man, that is freaking amazing. Look at all that volume and all that spinach for $5. This is incredible. Yes, it's a good deal. And then I was at the grocery store, and I'm buying some more greens. And I came across the broccoli, and I saw the price, $1.78 per pound. $1.78 per pound. How much is this per pound? $5. This is 16 ounces. Hold on a second, okay? Is there anyone here that made it through the 8th grade? How many ounces in a pound? 16 ounces. This says 16 ounces. 16 ounces a pound, $1.78 per pound. Have any of you ever cooked spinach? What does this giant box turn into? Turns into nothing. You ready for a promotion? You better get serious about your groceries. Be responsible with the dollars. If you're responsible with the dollars know they can trust you, and they will fly towards you. The dollars know they can't trust you because you don't value it. And when you don't value it, it runs away. It's the same with people. You don't value your spouse will run away. Same with your kids, same with your friends, same with your clients, same with your coworkers. If you don't value them, there they go. Bye-bye. See you later. So, how many of you want to pay off your debt? Anybody here? Are you catching my drift? Is the pink salt worth it? No way. It's not worth it. So now what you got to do is you got to go and assess everything that's in your house. Look at your pantry. How many options for breakfast do you have in your pantry? She's counting right now. 7 in her pantry right now that she knows of. 7 options for breakfast. Let's go to the fridge. How many options for breakfast in the fridge? Hey, all of you new people, I want you to tell me. Come on, add it up. So she has 7 in the fridge, 6 in the pantry. She has 13 options for breakfast in her house. What about the freezer? So we are at 4. 4 in the freezer, 7 in the fridge, 6 in the pantry. So how many are we at? 18? 17 options for breakfast alone. Why? Because we have the money and we lie when we say we can't afford it. Because we have the money is why we have 17 options for breakfast in our kitchen alone. Because we have the cash. And because we have no vision for the cash gets in the trash. Because we have no vision and we don't understand investing, because we've been trained to be spenders instead of investors, we're blowing it like crazy. So you literally have the money all ready to become financially independent. You do. You already have it. What it's about is directing on purpose where you spend it. It's the same for losing weight. It's the same for your physical body. How? Most of us eat unconsciously. We don't even think about what we're putting in our body. There's no purpose to the food we're putting in our mouths other than I want it to taste good. Well, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. How many of you are a Snickers bar? Any Snicker bars in here? I love me some Snicker bars. I'm telling you right now, I love me some Snicker bars. But guess what? I don't want to be a Snicker bar. I don't want the lumps. I don't want it. That's why there's broccoli in my mouth right now instead of a Snickers bar. Do you understand? But we unconsciously eat, not thinking what the result's going to be. So if you want to win, you want to play like a champion, you better eat like a champion, you better invest like a champion. And you can do it. It's all in the little things. So if you left this weekend, even if you just left tonight, and all you did was now see money for value versus seeing it for waste, and you began to now take the money that's now going to wasted places, and let's just talk about the food alone, just this category right here. I just showed you 2 places of waste, right? $1.78 per pound versus $5 a pound. Serving 7 people versus 2. Right? So I went from $1,200 a month on my food budget down to $500 to $600 a month was my budget. $500 to $600 a month.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success. Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what poverty-stricken families are dealing with in Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic needs of food, clean water, and safe housing. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming Nicaragua. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Nicaragua. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success. Helping you become all you were meant to be. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
So you said you want to get in line for a promotion, right? You said that you want to get promoted. Who here wants to get promoted? How many of you can see one place right now where you can get promoted? It is as simple as, you ain't buying this crap anymore. You're going to buy this. And you might not even buy this. You might just take the stuff that's for free that you can get at the hotels and any place that you're eating out. I'm not kidding you. There's all kinds of ways to do it. There's all kinds of ways to not spend money. I want you to leave here looking at where you won't spend money instead of looking at where you will spend money. Do you hear me? All right, so I'm going to show you how to pay off all of your debt in the next 5 to 7 years. So here's 3 things you need to understand about money, okay? 1, how to make it. We're going to really focus on that tomorrow. 2, how to keep it. 3, how to make it multiply, all right? If you don't have money, you can't make it multiply. Did you hear me? But you can multiply somebody else's money and keep a portion of it, okay? So if you learn this second skill, how many of you already know how to make money? And how many of you thought the answer to your financial problem was making more of it? Come on, let me see your hands. How many of you thought making more money was the answer to your financial problems? Let me see your hands. Wave at me. Okay. What's the truth? It's not the answer to your problem. Why? Because the more money you've made, the further in debt you've gone. So making more money is not the answer to your financial problems. Making more money is not the answer to your financial problems. It's not the answer actually to any of your problems. It is actually perhaps a cause to the problem. It's a cause. It's a cause to the stress in the marriage. It's a cause of stress to the kids. It's multiplying the poverty mentality down to the next generation. It's a cause. It's not going to be the thing that changes it. But what will change it is how you see money, where you point it, and what you do with it, all right? There's never been one time that we've lost here, and this particular place is the investment that you make in yourself. The investment you make into you, the reason why that's a no-fail deal is because you control the value of the dollar you just invested into you. If you come to First Step Success and you do nothing with the information that is being taught here this weekend, whose choice is that? It's your choice, which means you'll get nothing out of it besides an experience. You might have had a good time. You might have hated it. It really doesn't matter. The $700 or $800 you spent to get into the room, plus the $500 plane ticket, plus the $500 for your hotel, plus the $500 if you're spending money foolishly on food. Well, guess what? All of that money you spent to get here is a complete waste if you don't use the information. But if you use the information, then guess what? You're controlling the value of that dollar, which means now you're going to get out. If you use it, you're going to get out. Well, first of all, you're going to get out of debt. So this initial investment that you're making into you understanding money different, you understanding yourself different, and you understanding others different, the strategies you're going to learn tomorrow about increasing your income, the strategies you're going to learn on Sunday with developing other leaders so that you have more time and more money, how to multiply your money, how to multiply your time is what we're going to talk about on Sunday. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about increasing and growing something, starting something from nothing is what we'll focus on tomorrow. So when it comes, and this is the reason why we're setting this foundation for money, because if I show you how to make money, but I don't show you what to do with it, this is a waste of both of our time, wasn't it? It's a complete waste of both of our time, which is why I'm so passionate about helping you get out of debt and showing you how simple it actually is.
If 2018 is the year you plan to win in money, business, and relationships, you need to be in Dallas, Texas, February 23rd, 24th, and 25th for First Steps to Success.